Hello, my friends. It is Monday, April 6th, I believe. I think that we have all lost track. I've seen a lot of memes and jokes about not knowing what day it is. A lot of those of you in quarantine probably having a lot of Groundhog Day. I am still an essential employee, so I'm still going into the office. My days are very clear to me. I'm also moving right now, so as you can see, things are pretty barren here, just getting things done. The landlord is selling the home that I'm living in, and so we're both on an adventure to find new spaces. So it's a very interesting time. I just wanted to stop in though and say hello. I hope you're all doing well and just go over some things that have gone on in the last week or 2 weeks. Last week, I got to experience another blip of a dark night of the soul. Any of you that have done the dark night of the soul work, it's very difficult at times. Last week was really interesting. The week before, I was vibing really high, felt really good. And then I got my opportunity to go into the experience. The beautiful side of that is that even when you think you figured it out and you think you have all of the emotions under control, we get hit with another wave of things. And I got to learn how to lean on people last week. A lot of things came up. This move has been kind of difficult. And so I've had to dig really deep to find out why. The timing is weird and there's all these external things that are going on, but really what I was feeling was completely internal. So I got to go into the depths and feel some of the feelings that were coming up from the move that really had nothing to do with the move. And that's the beautiful thing about this time and everything that's going on. And I know I'm saying beautiful thing and I hear people say there's nothing beautiful about this. People are passing away, we're scared, we lost our jobs, we're worried about where we're going to live, and I don't want to discount any of that. There's a lot of loss that's going on right now, or things that feel like loss. And what I can tell you is last year I felt like I had a lot of loss. And after being able to go back and look at everything that I felt like I lost, they were sheddings of things so that something else could come in. I didn't see it immediately, and sometimes it took a long time, and it usually took the longest time when I resisted being grateful. So I just want to do a really quick video. I did one previously and it ended up 15 minutes and it was kind of all over the place. So I'm going to try to streamline this a little bit better. I just want to thank those of you that are putting content online. While I was going through the dark night of the soul that I have experienced, it's been about the last 7 or 8 years, which seems like a very long time, and it felt like a very long time. I had a lot of social anxiety, so I disconnected from the consciousness, from the collective, and just kind of went in and did my own thing. I went off path. Well, I say off path, but it was my perfect path. Had some very dark experiences and saw a lot of things and did a lot of things that I never thought would come into my life. And I have to say, on the other side of that, I'm so grateful. Again, like I always say, I have a depth of compassion for the human experience. There are things that we really judge harshly that we don't understand. And you really can't understand it until you have been in it. And luckily, I didn't have to go fully into things, but just experience the surface of them to understand how people get to where they are, and just to love people where they are. Everybody's just coming from their experience, from their fixed beliefs, from the stories that they've been told, from a young age. And I just want to say that shedding all of that and getting down to the core that we are all one is really important. And I really feel like that's the work that we're getting to now, understanding that there are no limitations. This virus, if you believe it's, really out there or not, I do believe there's definitely something going on. And but the bottom line is the virus takes our breath away, which takes our life away. And fear of that, and to understand that it doesn't play favorites. It doesn't matter. And to really bring us back to the humanness that we are. Anyway, I'll get on to what I'm doing, or the points that I'm trying to make. I want to acknowledge my cousin Julie. We had a call the other day, and she was talking about a gratitude journal that she's been doing the last year, and watching the things that she's been creating by just being grateful has been really beautiful and amazing. And I'm following her lead. I'm going to start a gratitude journal tomorrow. I have kept up with the meditating with the Deepak Chopra and Oprah the last, I believe I'm on day 11 now, which is the furthest I've made it so far in journaling every morning, and it feels so good. It's clearing out a lot of stuff, so that's great. I just want to give you the top 5 things that I am grateful for. The first one is my tribe. Sally and Carol, Sally Klinger and Carol, Sally, I won't say their last names, I just totally mixed it up. Sally and Carol. Carol owns James Barrett Pilates, and that's part of what I've missed. I went to her studio for many, many years, did Pilates and yoga, spinning classes with all of these girls, and they are amazing. Men and women, both men and women are welcome. I just had a handful of girlfriends that were really, they were my family away from my family. And we've gone through a lot together. And I have to say, going through the dark night of the soul, I had a lot of social anxiety and I separated from everybody. And now that we're going through this, I feel like I've come out of the hardest part of my dark night of the soul. And now there's social distancing. The most beautiful gift of the social distancing is that people are putting things online, content online. And I want to thank Sally and Carol for putting yoga and singing bowl and all kinds of things online so that I now feel like I can be with them. They're up in Idaho, but I feel like I'm reunited with my tribe. And I really hope on the other side of this that they continue doing that, because it's so beautiful. It feels like I'm with my family, even though I'm in another state. And so I just really want to thank you for doing that, and for all of the rest of you that are putting content online. Jennifer Atkinson, I just saw that you did a meditation online also, and I want to commend you. This is really a stretch for all of us that are, kind of not used to this stuff, but the content is so important and we understand that. So really stepping into our space to be able to do this is amazing. So I want to commend you and thank all of you for doing that, and I'm really excited about that, so grateful. The second one was my employment. I've really been struggling with the change from being in the air and being in different states and different weather and different things. Like this time of year, I deal with a lot of seasonal depression. I don't like the cold at all. I haven't my whole life. I'm really working on that. But typically at this time of year, I would just jump on a plane and go to the beach. However, this year, that's not an option. So I'm learning other things to really appreciate the beauty where I'm at. And my employer, in my employment, I'm going into an office every day now, and it's just a complete change of pace. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by amazing people there. It has been an adjustment to be there 40 hours a week, and the flip side is I get to sleep in my own bed every night and create some calm and consistency, but it definitely has been a thing, and I just want to extend, as much love as I can to those of you that are outside of work now and the things that are going on. I can only imagine what that stress is like, and I really hope that we're up and running, and I honestly feel on the other side of this that we will be more aligned into what our greatest spaces are, be able to embrace the beauty of our inner soul and maybe do things that we were too scared to do before, or didn't, feel like it was a good enough job or whatever. I really hope that this aligns us into our space. And for now, I'm very grateful to still be working. And the third thing was my home. Again, things have shifted here, and I'm currently looking for an apartment through virtual tours and all kinds of exciting new ways of looking for an apartment. Any of you that have looked or had to do that just in a regular space, it's a difficult thing to do, but in the current situation, it just adds a whole nother part of it. But it's showing me, my tenacity, and it's also showing me the teamwork that I have. I want to thank everybody that's stepping up to assist me in moving boxes and, even just holding the space, because every once in a while it seems like it's a little bit overwhelming. My friend Kristen, she's kind of new in my life. I very, very much appreciate her. She's come over with wine a couple of nights and just let me, spill my guts about my feelings about everything. And by being able to speak it out loud, I can hear it and see that really a lot of the emotions that are coming up have nothing to do with the move. The move is just triggering things for healing, which is really beautiful. And I so much appreciate all of you that are holding that space for me and showing up for me in that way. It's very difficult sometimes to be vulnerable enough to let people know that you need help. And I just really appreciate those of you that are showing up in that space. The fourth thing was my training, the Dark Night of the Soul. Like I said, that I've gone through for the past few years. I feel like I've been in training that I didn't know I was in training, and it was for this time. And it was so that I could hold a space for other people that are going through it, because there's a lot. There's a lot of feelings coming up, a lot of feelings of loss and mourning and just, you know, unknowing. We don't know what things are going to look like on the other side of this. I personally feel like this needed to happen. We needed a hard reset. And if we can really take some breaths and come back in and, you know, do the shadow work within ourselves and figure out what it is. You know, are we feeling fear? Because whatever we're feeling is within. If you're feeling fear, that was within already. If you're feeling love and compassion, that was within already. Anything that you're feeling right now is just giving you an opportunity to really look at what is in the depths of your soul. What are your belief systems? What have you been raised with? What, you know, what are you afraid of? Again, I talked about that last time, but this is such a gift of a time for us to really look at that. And I am so grateful for the work that I did the last few years to be able to see it for what it is and to shift out of the space. But also, this is a new challenge, like I said, for me, because I didn't let people in before now. And that's been the learning for me, is allowing people in to assist through this shift. And I really hope that all of you are realizing, you know, that you are loved. And there are people out there that are happy to support you through this time. And if you can't shift out of that, to be in service is such a beautiful thing for people. The last thing, number 5, was illumination. Everything is being illuminated now, which is really beautiful. It's full moon tomorrow. If you haven't looked outside, I was watching it as it was coming up. I was doing one of Sally's yoga flows as the moon was coming up behind the mountain, and it was so amazing. And just to really feel that, you know, things are illuminated. It's very bright outside, and our whole society's been illuminated. Things that were just barely underneath the surface, and, you know, our areas of instability, and just the way that we're responding. We're all responding to what's going on. You know, some people are really going into work mode, and some people are frozen in fear, and that's okay. Like, whatever's going on, you know, however you need to feel it. Allow yourself to mourn the things that are lost, the beliefs of stability and safety and security that maybe you feel like you don't have anymore, or, you know, relationships, to see when you're stuck in a house with somebody, to see that maybe that relationship hasn't been in alignment for a long time. And when we don't deal with things and we just put it off and put it off, you know, you may get stuck in the house with that person. So really, and I laugh, not out of humor, just because this is the human experience. There are some things that, you know, it's consequences of not dealing with it. And what makes me laugh is that I've lived my life with that. So there's no judgment in that. I really respect anybody in the space that you're in and what you're going through to process all of this. But really take a look at your life and see places that you would like to change, and, you know, maybe things that you'd like to do better. I know that there are definitely things that are coming up for me that I will be shifting. And, you know, one of them is valuing myself. And I realize that there's a lot of areas where I've been extending my time and energy in situations and relationships that were either one way or disrespectful to myself. And I'm realizing that that doesn't work. It doesn't work in this space. So, and going forward, it's not going to work. And I'm not going to continue feeding that. So it really is a beautiful time of illumination, and we're having it as an entire consciousness. So I am very, very grateful for that. I just want to say that any light that you may possibly see in me exists in you. And we really are all divine. And we have the power to create whatever situation we want out of this. That doesn't mean spiritually bypass and pretend like everything is good and easy, and you know, not acknowledge that this is hard. This is hard work. We're going through a dark night of the soul as an entire consciousness, and I just want to send all the love and gratitude and respect for the journey that we're all on. There's a song I've been listening to recently, and my favorite line is, your value is internal. Your value is internal. Anything external that we cling on to, the value isn't there. Your value is internal. So how are you going to spend that value? How are you going to cultivate that value? And what are we doing as personally, on the personal level? So anyway, I just want to send you all love and light and all the peace that you can get through this time. And thank you all. I know I only named a few of you, but there are a lot of, my tribe is very large, thankfully, just watching and touching base. And if somebody comes to your mind, reach out. There's a reason. If you are somebody, you're just remembering something, there's a reason. Their soul's probably asking you to reach out. So make sure that you're listening to those promptings, and again, take some deep breaths, and we'll make it through this. We're all together in this, and I wish you all peace. I'll talk to you soon.